Peace, fam. How are you? Hope all is well. I got some time. Everybody is uh, settled for tonight. Put it that way. Except for my cat. You hear him? He's going insane. He has this little scratching thing. Matter of fact, he has this cat got like 80 toys. My children said this cat took over your house. I bought him um, the litter box that he walks in his litter box, right? He uses the litter box. Then he can wipe his paws before and he's very bougie. He's a male cat, but he like because my children are here, I have to put him uh in my room in a way because uh, he's not aggressive, he's territorial, right? And it's not. He's like, "Oh, what you doing in here? Why you?" Yeah, that type of stuff. But let's get down to business, right? You see what my shirt said, right? It says define naughty, right? You see what that is, right? Right? Uh, define naughty. Christmas ain't gonna be looking too good this year for a lot of people, right? We clear about that? I'm just glad, like, I got to the point where um, I got a lot of brothers and sisters. I can feel that energy. How about that? I can feel our positive energy. Like everywhere I go, I can just feel us, right? And see, the problem, I'm not going to say a problem, but what they want us to do is the division stuff. But we're on cold here. We're adamant about what we want. We all have one agenda, right? And they knew what that agenda was since last year, right? And they've been plotting and planning, right? Since last year. And the proof is all in the pudding, right? Proof is all in the pudding. Now listen, get down to business. I thought I said it before. If I did, I'm going to say it again, right? Check this out. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right? When I was growing up, kindergarten, because my mother she had us from daycare to your preschool to kindergarten, right? So kindergarten, right? I was already prepped for it, right? Taking that pledge, even though they took a lot of that out of the schools now, right? But taking that pledge, right? Um, although I didn't understand, because to be honest, I'm the first generation of no slavery, and I can't even say that because I was in the 70s integrated, right? In Joe Biden's jungles, right? The DuPont. In school, I had no, in school, I really had, I was a very intelligent child um, since I was young, but I was an ass. I really didn't care or didn't take um, my gift serious, right? So when I did not do that, I started learning things fast, right? And through experience, which is always the best teacher, right? Pardon me. Get over there. No, I'm going to put you in your bed, in your cage. Not bed, cage. You're doing too much. Pardon me, you guys. Me and this. Anyway, growing up and taking that pledge, right? And being American descendant of slavery, right? And not really understanding what that meant, right? I traveled from the north to the south every year as I can remember as a child, right? And never understood, like, I grew up in a 5 bedroom, 3-story house, right? Plus the basement, right? So when we would go to the south, they still had outhouses. They still lived on the fucking plantation, okay? But we were in the city in the 5 bedroom, 3-story historical part of Wilmington, Delaware, right? But I was amazed. It was like, when I got a little bit older, um, it was a relief to leave the city, you know what I mean? And just go to the south. We used to pick watermelons, and I mean, my family, they had to work in their fields, right? They still work the fields. They still work, let's be clear, all the way up to the goddamn 90s. My aunt worked for the last slave owner of our plantation, right? Her name was Blue Eyes. That's what they called her, right? I go deeper down the rabbit goddamn hole with the United States of America, right? It goes deeper. If they don't see, and this is the thing, they think because they flooded this country with immigrants, right? They think because they flooded this country with immigrants, right? That was going to just make us forget about what was going on with us in America, right? They thought we were never going to bring up this issue with them, right? Why would they want to anyway, Congress just got paid a lot of money. It's a lot of them in Congress, right? We can ready to pull your motherfucking card. Oh yes indeed. We're gonna pull your card, right? Because a lot of descendants of slave owners in Congress, which there are many, right, got reparations. You know when they was going on with that bullshit? Oh, slavery was a long time ago, right? That was a long time ago. We had nothing to do with it. But you're reaping the fucking benefits, right? You're eating off of our 400-year labor, right? You're eating the food, right? But said fuck the tree and fuck the root. Because they wanna act as if they don't know what's going on with us, right? They want to act, they want to play dumb. Like they don't understand what the fuck is going on with black Americans in this country, right? But we've been on your trail, you know. FBI taught everybody what? Follow the money. All your movies, Investigation Discovery Channel. I have a criminal justice bachelor's degree, right? So it teaches us to do what? Follow the trail. So we was at Plandemic. So next, and what I want to say here, right, is this: it does to any of my brothers and sisters, right? Because we know our beloved brother, peace be upon him, George Floyd, right? We know uh, that before George Floyd, there was already a mod, right? And then we had Breonna, right? And then Floyd was just the pot on the stove that boiled over, right? With black Americans in America, right? Now, they took George Floyd's death, right? And made him a martyr. Did you hear what I just said to you? They took George Floyd's death, our beloved George Floyd, our brother, right? That had a devil with his foot on his neck for 8 minutes and 40 something fucking seconds, right? The Democrats, right, made him a martyr. They had a meeting with black immigrants, Black Lives Matter, right? This is the one. This right here, this is the one. This is when we gonna come. This is when we gonna come out from behind the curtains, right? And we getting ready to play ball. Is that what we about to do? Is that what y'all did? I'm almost certain of it. I'm pretty sure. If I was to bet, I would double it, right? So, took George Floyd. You brought Black Lives Matter in, right? And then Black Lives Matter, right? And then you had the riots. You had the marches, and you had the riots, and you had George Floyd. You had Black immigrants matter, right? And that's Joy Reid's camp, right? Joy Reid, it's your camp, right? So you got you rallied Black Lives Matter, right? And then the insult to our intelligence, once you brought Black Lives Matter in, you brought LGBTQ in, right? As if those, right? Or foundational Black Americans, right? Or B1, right? As if we said to our brothers and sisters, right, who carry the same lineage as we do, as if we said to them, because you're gay, you can't get reparations. Did we ever say that to any of ours? Show me one person, right? So we were already on code, right? We were on code from all walks of life, right? Black Americans. all walks of life. We were all on code, whether we were gay, whether we were straight, whether we were rich, whether we were poor, right? We were on the same track. Somebody came and threw us off that track, didn't they? Who threw us off track? Who threw us off the track, right? Who came to divide and conquer and use our brother George Floyd, and I'm going to keep saying it, use our brother George Floyd, right, to start this illusion all around America, blaming it on black Americans. That's what you did. That's what you did, right? Because a lot of those people on the ground, right? A lot of those people that was on the ground was not black fucking Americans. We didn't even come the fuck outside, and we already said we wasn't coming outside because we already knew that those weren't us. Those were the ops out there, right? See, we've been tracking you for a very long time. We've, we've been here. We've been here, but you saw us not, right? So you brought look at how they took look at how they did George Floyd. Here who was in there? Here come Pimp Pastor Al Sharpton, puppet number one, the instigators, right? The instigator who gets paid, right? Let me explain something to y'all just in case you're not aware of Al Sharpton's role in all this shit, right? So if somebody gets murdered, right? If one of our brothers or sisters get murdered, right? And it was tragic, right? Uh, you ain't gotta find him; he will find you if he feel as though he gonna make enough money off of you. Then they get the ball rolling behind the scenes. Know what y'all dealing with here, right? Know what you understand. Let me tell you something. Anybody, right? Anybody who claims, right, that they are against racism, right, and they are against white supremacy, right, would not be working for white supremacy, right? Unless they what? They have a position in white supremacy, right? To play a certain role in this whole goddamn circus. Now, I don't want to keep going. Yeah, I want to keep, yeah, Floyd. So they used our brother, right? We're never going to forget. You used our brother, right? For your little circus, right? And then you had these goddamn immigrants, right? It, look at how they did all over in Britain, all over the country, all over there. Those were fucking immigrants. And it's about the same amount of immigrants that was there on the ground. The majority of them was the fuck here. Because I'm telling you right now, all of those people that was on the motherfucking ground was not ADOS. It was not foundational black Americans. Right? Now, if we do a little data and research, right? We will know exactly how many people were arrested in the streets, right? And compare and contrast uh, those who weren't foundational Black Americans to those uh, who were, right? And we know who's going to have a higher percentage, right? You use them too. You use them, right? And they so blind to it. It's sickening. It's sick to my stomach. It makes me sick. You know what I mean? But it really hurts, right? Because you used our own, the most of them amongst us, right? Because even if they speak Latin, they speak French, they speak English, right? They're not us. And we can tell our behavior, right? We know our behavior, right? Because if we would have came out there with George Floyd, right, it would have been a different scenario. Let me explain something to you. I watched all of the riots all around this country, right? I didn't miss a beat. Ask my subscribers know that I recorded because I had so much I deleted a lot of them. But every last one I watched, and you know where I was watching it from? I was watching it from the sky. I was watching it from y'all helicopters, right? I was watching how y'all was setting up shop all around this country, right? And how you had your spies in the sky as well as on the ground, right? I saw it. I saw it all, right? So that was the other part of the pandemic setup, right? So we had George Floyd. Oh yeah. And in between that, right? Donald Trump, which we know Donald Trump is ignorant, right? He has no knowledge. He doesn't follow our fucking. He doesn't. I'm just telling you. I'm just showing y'all the setup here, right? So then on Juneteenth, Donald Trump was going to do his speech in Tulsa, right? Now, when Donald Trump did that shit in front of the White House, I must say that was all him, right? But I don't think that he purposely, right, scheduled his rally on Juneteenth without knowing the history in its totality, right? That's why he said to y'all, he said, after that, he said, I made Juneteenth famous, didn't he? Because you took Juneteenth too and you played with our fucking emotions about that too. Are we clear about that, Democrats? Right? After that, watching. Then you get the Indians involved. 4th of July, right? You already got the other immigrants on the ground. Now you went and got the Indians and put them on the ground too, right? We getting there, y'all. We getting there. Because I'm going to try to wrap it up quick, right? So let's drum roll it, right? Here come the grand finale. We out here dealing with white supremacy, right? And you made devils, right? We're playing your roles as if, right? You wasn't the actual character of this whole shit. Here we go. Crack me upside my head, John Lewis. The way they try to play us with John Lewis, right? I was like, you know what? This is done. I'm done. I'm done. At that point, looking at this whole charade, right? I was done. And then you got Clinton, right? Disrespecting one of our brothers, no matter how anybody feel about him, he's still ours, right? Disrespect him. Nobody put him in check, but you out here fighting black power against white supremacy, right? Nobody gave this motherfucker one of those the help pies, huh? You ain't get your help pie yet, Clinton, in black people fucking business, sir. Fourth of July. Yeah, Fourth of July. So all of that was bullshit, right? Then they give us goddamn John Lewis. Let me ask everybody in here a question, right? Because the way these the way these people play on our intelligence, right? It's mind-boggling. Like you look at it, you look at the whole thing. Like, did they just do that? Did you just do that? Did you really just do what I thought you did? And then it's like, oh, that you didn't peep that or peep. See, this is the thing. It's all about the fucking symbolism, right? See, we already knew that Black Lives Matter wasn't us, right? When they started painting Black Lives Matter on the fucking ground instead of painting reparations now on the motherfucking ground. Are we clear? That right there had let us know right then and there that that wasn't us on this fucking ground, and we still want to know, right? What did they do with the funds, right? Because I did a little research on that too, right? And we know about the tech company, the white tech company, right, that backs them, or the quote unquote organization that they give their money to, right? All for black Americans. See, in a minute, right, y'all gonna be slapped with so many goddamn lawsuits all around this country. It's gonna the economy, the government probably gonna collapse anyway, because y'all in so much mess. You so deep, knee deep in shit, right? But this is the most highest intelligence in our sphere, right? Giving you all that work, right? Giving you all them hands and those feet, right? Without us, right? Even touching you. Yeah, so we got John Lewis. Here they go with John Lewis. John Lewis was just a non-violent, he just let our police just crack him all upside his goddamn head, and he was a good little nigger pet, right? Be like John Lewis. He's the white man's protege, right, of the house of the Boulets, right? I feel like this, right? If you get to the other side, right, and you have to stand and face our ancestors, right, and you have to explain what you have been doing to us, right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, right? Nobody has ever came from the other side and told you what's going on over there, right? But you can get some insight. You can get some insight on it all. So we're gonna get on away from crack me upside my head, Lewis bullshit. Next, we wanted to go to So all through this, they were boosting. You had Bloomberg, right? We told Bloomberg no why, because Bloomberg was fucking with stop and frisk, right? So they got Bloomberg out the way, and they just rushed Biden in there. Whoosh! He was the Nike, just do it, right? Swoosh! Rush him out there, and here come old ham bone, right? Need to grow, white supremacist, right? Lover, right? Clyburn. Let me tell you something. Jim Clyburn, uh, my granddaughter's, I said my granddaughter, my daughter's grandmother, right? Went to school with him, right? And she can't stand him. She was like, that's the lyingest old motherfucker I ever seen, right? She hates him. Every time she see him on TV, she no dog. She from something. Right, Clyburn? You know how they feel about you and something, right? Some, but you got your Kool-Aid there too. Absolutely. They heavy in that Masonic stuff down in the South, so don't get it twisted. We're aware about the Bible Belt, the home of the Masonry, Four Brothers, right? So yeah, they just here come Clyburn and got all these Negroes, right, on code, right? He thought he did. Because each time these people come out here with their plan, it doesn't, it just unravels, right? Then they got to go back to plan. I'm quite sure they had plan Z, right? So Clyburn, hand bone, greasy head, white supremacy lover, married to a Caucasian woman, right? Ain't that right? You and Clarence Tomlin, whatever his name is, right? So had him out here. You done rallied up all of the dumb, deaf, and blind, because 85%, right? We already know about that Bible Belt, right? So we know how easy it is for you to sway the minds of our people who are probably just 10, 15 years out of physical slavery of South, because the South is just getting it, you know, where it should be because of you, Clyburn, with Stormfront, whatever his name is, Thurman. Y'all, I remember the day he died, right? I said, may the ancestors drag him every which way but loose. That's how I felt about Mr. Thurman there. And that was Joe Biden's friend too, right? Don't get it twisted. He was a straight white supremacist, like the father of the Dixiecrats, right? Pan bone. He set it up. So you see where all these people, because you may want to go back, right? Because all of this stuff is like a playbook, right? And each time they come out, they try to play on our emotions. If they don't try to play on our emotions, they try to play on our intelligence, right? Which really pisses me off. But it is what it is. So we had Biden come out there. So all this stuff is going on. Got the Plandemic, right? So then it took this thing to a whole nother level. They done upgraded it, right? With the Plandemic. So yeah, we were over here with hand bombs. So now, uh, there comes the star of the show. There comes the star of the show, right? I don't know how long Michelle had a podcast, right? Because I never. Only time I really heard about her podcast is when someone had a lecture on her, you know, talking down on us, or as if she was scolding us, right, for her slave masters, right? So then our brother, I call him the Nat Turner, right, of this whole shit, the Black Authority. The Black Authority did the segment, and I found that very interesting that we were watching her and her husband put on this play, right? Meanwhile, Joe Biden was still selecting, so called selecting, his vice president, right? They come out there, they telling us you can't fight the system outside of the system. This is advice he was giving us. We got to be inside of the system in order to tear down the system, right? Why would we want to be inside of a system, right, that has torn us up? It's time to separate from this goddamn system, right? We out here hollering reparations. Not one time did him or his wife say one thing about reparations on that whole shit, right? So I said, they setting the stage. They setting the stage. I said, what's the grand interest? Watch this shit right here. Right? So had Obama out there campaigning, trying to roll in the medium rare meat for the audience, right? So uh, Kamala, right, is selected. So that's our timeline, right? Not only with that, he has before her, right? He did this. And this how we caught you motherfuckers once again, right? Throwing bricks and hiding your motherfucking hands, right? This is how we caught you again, right? Because Cardi B, when Kamala came out the first time, she was all into Cardi. She showed Cardi, she was dancing for Cardi and all this shit, right? She was doing all that shit, right? The fake shit. So then they select her, right? But before they select her, Mr. Biden wanted you to get this message, Black Americans, that Latins were more diverse than you, right? They deserve a better opportunity than the blacks, to be honest. And he's not lying, because that's another place I'm going to go soon, right? To start comparing and contrasting the growth between Black Americans and the immigrants who came here from, let's say, the 1990s up until now, right? We want to see the growth. We want to see the disparity. Because one thing I can't stand is a fucking liar, right? You notice something in Cardi's speech? You know what she said, right? They scripted her, right? They scripted her. But Cardi is my youngest daughter's age, right? I told y'all there was no such thing as unity, right? I told y'all there was no such thing as diversity. I told y'all there was no such thing as people of fucking color. All is our competition, always have been, always will be. Every last one of them who colludes with white supremacy is guilty as fucking charged. We don't want any more parts of the charades, right? And with that, like I said, Joe Biden came and set the stage for Cardi B, didn't you, Joe Biden? You set the stage for Cardi after you gave him a dog whistle. Latins, you legal ones. I don't know if these niggas is gonna have my back, right? But I'm gonna give you Cardi B. But I'm gonna throw out dog whistles, right? In the whole message. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna give her the script. So in her script, what I found that was very interesting, right? Didn't I tell you we went to college, we went to school, we feel smart around here? Now, what she said in her script, right, is she wanted black men to stop being murdered by police. You hear what I'm saying to you, right? Don't forget, she was supposed to be coming out here speaking for Black Americans, but the only message she had for really for Black Americans is she wanted black men to stop being murdered by the police, right? She didn't say, I want black women to be empowered the same way that they have empowered me, right? The same way they gave me a foot in the door to get where I'm at in America. She didn't say any of that, right? She didn't say that, did she? Absolutely not. She went straight for the jugular vein, right? To let you know what it was about with Joe Biden the whole fucking time, right? Our black men, right? That's what Cardi came to bring you. Came to bring you Joe Biden's message. In that message, right? In At the end of it, at the end of the because it's not over. The play is not over, so we can't go to intermission, right? So we already know that they brought this whole team, right, together, right, and get on code, right, get on code, right, because they already know, right, they already know that we know, right, and they also know that they can't trick us. There's no way to trick us. You can't trick us with. There's nothing on this planet these people can trick us with again. You pulled out all the jokers. You pulled out all the ace of spades. You pulled out all the queens of hearts. Right? Threw all that shit our way, and we still right here like reparations, right? Along with these uh, multi-millions and millions of fucking lawsuits that you probably have on top of your head anyway, Democrats. Since we know how this shit goes, right? So that's what happened there with the pandemic, right? They set the stage for Kamala. They set the stage for her last year, right? Because they heard us making noise anyway. So they set the stage. They said, you know what? We're gonna put you out here, and we're gonna make you go, national and start our agenda, right? See, Card, like I said, I'm not angry. Tell you something. Like I said, Cardi is my child's age, right? I felt very disrespected, right? That the president that wanted a president that wants to be the president, right, would have an interview with someone my child's age in that form of mentality, right? So that let me know all I needed to know on Creepy Joe, right? That really just wait a minute. Okay. My daughter was that was my daughter. But no, she's very mature. She's queen mind. She got queen mindset. But just imagine this girl hasn't been raised in the knowledge of herself yet, right? So when they put her out there with that script, right, she already knew, right, before she did that goddamn interview. This is the only thing, only message we want you to get out here about these niggas, black people, black men. Our black men is under attack, right? And if you can't see that, black woman, right, you're going to die. You're going to die in your, you know what? Even if you don't die physically, you're going to die in your own ignorance. Because when reality slaps you in your face of how long you've been playing a role in white supremacy, right, by hollering black power and being led astray by all these goddamn distractions, right, brought to you by, how do you want your white supremacy? Rare, medium, rare Congress, right? We're dealing with here. I always do my best to educate my people, right, on how to see shit for what it is and not what it appears to be, right? Because we know with the Democrats, since Kamala first came out, right, that their whole strategy or weak ass plan was going to be in the form of signs and symbols because that's what they all represent, signs and symbols. You didn't see Joy Reid when she first came out there? She said, "Oh, she's an alpha, alpha, alpha. Better not mess with her, girl." The signs, the symbols. Now, I'm getting ready to close you guys out, right? Um, there's two things I think I wanted to build about, but I'll start here, right? Like I said, let's see what I got on. Define naughty. Define naughty. It's how black Americans get ready to be up in this country, right? See how we're gonna get that? We're gonna take your life up, right? When it's all said and done, right? See, and this is the thing. We ain't having this conversation with nobody, nobody besides, right? Those who commit acts of treason against the people of the United States of America, the indigenous people. I need your consent, Thomas. Right? The indigenous people. right? It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. But like I said, it feels wonderful now that I don't have to raise my voice as much anymore. I can fall back now, right? The message is there and it's clear. The proof is in the pudding. We are sitting on top of Mount Everest and watching the clouds of deception, right? Of white supremacy and those who uphold white supremacy in the form of signs and symbols, right? We over here hollering, what? Power nomics. We're going to deal with the power nomics, right? We're going to play, right? Like everybody else playing, we're going to play with y'all, right? So we got a strong team. And see, this is the thing. Uh, and this is what I put earlier. Remember when I was talking about the brother? And I don't mean any harm because, like I said, I don't know that brother. And I didn't mean any. But when I start seeing patterns, right? I'm going to teach you something. This whole universe is a pattern. Everything in life has a pattern. When you start seeing patterns, pay attention to the patterns. The patterns will lead you to the signs. The signs will lead you to the symbols. And then that's going to lead you to that, what they call God, right? Of it all. Yeah, we're going to deal with the powernomics here. We're going to go with Dr. Claude Anderson because Dr. Claude Anderson even said if Black Lives Matter was a part of this movement, then why were you spraying Black Lives Matter on the goddamn pavement, right? And then you said nothing about reparations for the Black Americans who you claim was on the ground with you during George Floyd, right? But you went over and started talking to Lloyd's of London Bank and you're trying to make negotiations for the Caribbeans, right? While using us once again as your face, right? Of us in blackface. You try to be us. You people have been trying to do this forever to us, but we're tired. We're on to you, right? And we will get reparations. We will. If we don't get it, the most uh, uh, horrendous things that you would ever want to see, right? It's going to start raining down on this earth, right? We always wondered when the time came, how would it come, right? But once we got it, right? Once we, once the righteous, once the conscious, once the righteous, once the intelligent, once the ones who ain't gonna play with your ass saw what time it was, we got on code. And ever since then, y'all don't like it. I heard the dude said the dude told Tyreek to shut up, DNC. Like DNC, where you think you in the 70s somewhere? You telling Tyreek to shut up? Shut the fuck up? Really? Because he want to speak his truth about how you and the Democrats have been oppressing black people forever and it's game over. Listen how they talk to our black men. But you got these feminists out there cheering the shit on. And this is the thing. If during the Civil War, right? After the Civil War, what did they do? They promised us 40 acres and a mule, right? They reneged on that contract. They reneged on that contract for 400 and something fucking years. So whatever contracts you have with the devils, I'm almost certain they're gonna renege on that too, right? That's how the game is played, right? You were pulling on their motherfucking chessboard. But see, you could have been a queen or a king over here. Oh, you want to be over there. Right? You want to be over there. On the other side, I ain't them type, I ain't them niggas. Right? We on this side, it's our side. We're going to stay over here. And we want y'all to stay over there. Right? Powernomics. Now, um, last but not least, because we're almost an hour. Well, last but not least, um, two books. Like you guys, I told y'all, education is power. I think I spoke about this book before on here. Um, Otis Graham, Our Kind of People. I need you to read that, right? And I also want you to read, what is my book? I'm into it. It's two books. It's two books. Um, and I want to get it correct. 3 credits to use. That's good to know. From Here to Equality, right? William A. Darity and Kirsten Mullen. Reparations for Black Americans in the 21st Century. That's a very good. It's a very good. It's two books. Anybody that has Audible, go to Audible and download them. It's a must, right? You only need 1 credit and you'll get the whole two books, but they just break them down, right? But this is the brother who has broken down. I'm at chapter seven, seven, right? So I'll be in between, but it's so deep now, right? He goes through history of reparations. He starts from the Civil War all the way up until now, and how many times the United States of America has reneged on our contract agreement, and why we have a feasible cause to sue you, right, for our 400-year labor, right? That we have not been compensated a dime for it yet. Right? So get that, Our Kind of People, because that's going to teach you about Obama, the Obamas and Kamalas of this world, and the Cardis of this world. Okay, that book is very good, and like I said, um, once again, From Here to Equality. I want to make sure I give you William A. Darity, Christian Mullen, um, and if you got the Audible, it's narrated by J.D. Jackson. So, um, walk with me on this journey. We're gonna have each other, right? We will get to the promised land, right? We were almost there with Martin, right? But we had the John Lewis's, and we had the Jesse Jacksons, right? And we had, oh yeah, it's another one, the Spies of Mississippi. Okay, so the Spies of Mississippi was where uh how I know we know what's up with Black Lives Matter, because the Spies of Mississippi, right, was when uh the FBI, CIA, and things of that nature, right? It was well, a bunch of spies and agents, put it that way. It wasn't what it is now. However, you had um part so you had plants, people planted, right, in these organizations, right, that was causing people to actually get murdered, right? And that became that was it was a Jewish brother. It was a Jewish brother that went down with these other two brothers, I think, um, during the civil rights era, right? And they murdered the informant, the black uh, NAACP, nowadays known as Black Lives Matter, right? They were given the Central Intelligence, right, at that time, right, information of how uh, the civil rights movement was moving. So I kind of find that kind of weird too, with John Lewis uh, lives and MLK is just going. You know, I find that kind of looking at his actions over the years, and if you watch The Spies of Mississippi, okay? Because I don't want to go through all of the movie and stuff, but I want you to watch that, right? And you'll see that same thing that was going on there with white supremacy, right? The same thing going on with these Boule bootlicks and the Kamalas and the Cardis and these plants and agents that they put around us, right? To figure out how to destroy us. But it ain't gonna work this time. I love you guys. With that being said, keep your vibrations high. I'm going in here and bust it up with my son. He's still up. I can hear the music. Gonna turn that down. That's one thing about children. They love loud. I like loud music, but it's a time and place for everything. But children, they will. Why is music so loud? Right? And then I give them headphones. They will want their headphones. But you gotta respect people's ears, right? And that's how they are. That being said, keep your vibrations high. I will build with you guys